is a fucking man. Get the fuck. Where the fuck is that Lord come from?
You can't wait until they get in your mess and buy him the white man. It don't take 30 seconds to fuck. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Tippy, and no one like I'm there for. There's no one that can match me. 1,000 backwards, my defense is impregnable. I kept telling you, no fun. He couldn't get. He's playing narcissistic. He's missing. Let me see you, boss. I hadn't started dancing yet. Where's it? Sensational first round, and Burns gets hurt. Burns got done. Pacquiao was done early in the round. Great first round. Incredible. Perhaps one of the best in the fight history. Hey, that black guy, he hit.
Bang, bang, bang.
Fire.
Bang.
Yo, my boxing people, what's going on? Another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. I'm your host, writer and reporter for RealCombatMedia.com, G.Alé Dampier, and I'm joined on time by my full co-host and fellow Ring IQ admin, Julius Fox, Bo Bland,
That was good,
and Ibn Daoud.
you already know.
Welcome, family. Welcome to what we find in the wake of a legend who's on his way or has landed in Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh yeah, we gotta get one
we
fight.
have to talk about this. This has been highly touted fight. The casual fans alike have been talking about this fight. It's all over ESPN. I mean, hello. It's all over ESPN.
in the tabloid.
And it's in the tabloids. Everyone's just can't wait. I mean, and somehow we get to watch it for free.
Ain't that
Manny
bitch?
Pacquiao returns to, like I said, Brisbane, Australia, July 1st, this Saturday. We'll be taking on Jeff Horn, who's defending his WBO welterweight title. It's going down. Manny Pacquiao, guys. This place is it's supposed to be in the Suncorp Stadium. 60,000 are reported to be in attendance for this fight. Obviously, it's a big event for this country. I can't recall any meaningful fight ever taking place in Australia. So props to them for landing this fight. Yeah.
No.
So we definitely are going to do a full preview of this fight. Also in hand, we're going to be talking about
I did.
two fights that got added to the Broner versus Garcia fight. That'll be taking place July 29th at on Showtime 9 p.m. at the Barclays Center. Gerald Washington and Jarrell Miller. I hope I said that right. Big Baby Miller will be on the undercard, as well as Charlo versus Highland, which is I believe a WBO title eliminator. So, shit. That's a pretty damn good card, fellas.
That is.
So yeah, I'm just highlighting it. We'll talk about it in a minute. And also we'll briefly discuss about Kovalev's response to Virgil Hunter's offer as his trainer, who found it as an interesting proposal, quote unquote.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that shit, because if that ain't poetic justice, I don't know what is.
Kevin Durant.
I mean, it is, but I don't see nothing wrong with it.
He fitting to pull a KD.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Can't beat him, join him.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think it's funny coming from Kovalev.
Yeah. Well, first things first, guys. Big event. Like I said, this Saturday will be taking place on ESPN. Saturday. Manny Pacquiao will be fighting on free television for the first time in
In a long
11
time.
years.
Yeah.
Actually, this is his first free event. If you count subscription television as not being free, some people make it a technicality and include
No, I
that.
thought that's free. Fuck it, it's cable.
Exactly.
It's free.
I mean, that's what my point.
Free fight, man. It's a free
But yeah,
fight.
it's his first fight in 11 years that was free since his fight versus Velasquez at the Staples Center. Wow, remember that? That was fresh off the. If anything, I believe that was just before the rematch, or was it just after the rematch of Eric Morales? I believe it had to been after, right?
I think I was after.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So I mean, Bob Arum has called this a gift to the boxing fan for the fight.
He lied.
In other words,
That
this
motherfucker
was our ass out approach.
I'm not stupid enough to put this shit show on pay-per-view, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't like disrespecting Jeff Horn as a contender because he's got ambitions. He wants to put Australia on the map, and I respect that. You know what I mean? Like he doing it for his countrymen and all that. But call it what it is, man. This is Manny Pacquiao. This ain't fucking Keith Thurman. Not no disrespect to Keith Thurman, but this is Manny Pacquiao. If you ever wanted to see somebody that was overmatched, watch this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Bob Arum actually discussed that to a certain extent. I mean, he was obviously questioned on it. He even was quoted as to saying, "Blame me if this fight isn't competitive," because he says he's the one who personally scouted out Jeff Horn on the undercard of the Parker versus Ruiz fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and from what I can assess from the eye of at least the few fights that I've seen of him, he seems to be a rather big welterweight to me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing as far as technically that really stands out to me. Just a strong guy. In a sense, somewhat the same of Vargas in a way. I would say maybe a bit stronger.
I wouldn't compare him to Vargas because Vargas at least has that win over Josecito Lopez, and
I'm talking about as far as a style and body as an entity in the ring for Pacquiao.
No,
not
Vargas,
saying as far as skills.
Vargas was a little bit better than Jeff Horn, though, man.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like
Vargas was a little bit more skilled than Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he managed his way to get up to this ranking at some point. So
Georgia,
I'm trying to give him a little bit of credit here.
With the WBO,
So he tried.
I'm just saying. Jeez Louise.
George, the WBO?
Come on, man. Don't try to justify.
Everybody with gloves on, but you ain't gonna dress up Jeff Horn.
I'm not dressing him up. I'm just saying. I'm not. Look, I got him losing. Okay, I'm not trying to fucking. I'm not trying to sweeten this up for you guys.
I'm trying to figure out how you can justify him being in the ring with the WBO, the same WBO they gave.
I'm just saying he got there somehow.
It's the WBO, George.
All right, and that's different from the NABO or and what the other fucking national titles and shit.
George,
Bob, put that motherfucker there.
Is this the same Jeff Horn that didn't fight Earl Spence?
It's the same one.
I'm certain, probably. Sure.
Okay,
yes.
so
I'm not saying I'm talking about what he offers in the ring. I'm not talking about his fucking resume. Obviously, that's nothing to tout about. We see he's fucking 16-0, 11 knockouts. 11 knockouts of who? I don't fucking know.
But you said he did something to get high in the ranking. But it's the WBO.
You know what Jeff Horn is?
I'm saying listen. If you're a lawyer. And all of a sudden, you somehow landed the OJ trial.
Okay.
I'm not going to say, well, gee, just because he landed him, he's a great lawyer. I'm saying, well, he must have done something to fucking get here.
Can I say something? I'm going to tell you who Jeff Horn is.
Lawyer of WBO rankings. What the fuck? Am I in the Twilight Zone?
Can I say something?
You fucking work your way to where you get to. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Listen. You know how you go in the supermarket, right? And you're shopping, right? And the first thing you hit when you come in the supermarket is the produce, right? and you get the bag of cherries and you open it up and you steal one before you buy them, and that motherfucker
That's
so
Jeff
good
Horn.
that you can't wait until you buy this motherfucking bag of cherries. So you can fuck every last cherry up in the bag. That one cherry was just perfect and sweet and everything. That's what the fuck Jeff Horn is.
I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that coming out of that story.
Look. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what makes matters worse. One, Jeff Horn already, for lack of a better word, ducked the top contender when he was a top contender. Before he was even a champion, when he had his own set of question marks, this guy already turned down a fight with Errol Spence. On top of that, I wouldn't bet on Jeff Horn to beat Jesse Vargas or Konstantin Ponomariov. I wouldn't bet on him to beat Luis Collazo right about now. Because we see what Collazo.
No, ain't beat no Collazo.
Ain't beating no Collazo, okay? I don't think he would. Well, Ghost, I don't know. Ghost, I mean that
he might beat Ghost.
That Aaron Martinez
Also,
fight. But I'm just saying that Jeff Horn, what the original plan, because I remember when they were first proposing this fight months ago, they were proposing that he fight Jesse Vargas to build a Pacquiao fight, and then they just skipped all of that and fed him to Pacquiao. That's the kind of fight this is. This is just a fight to make Manny look like he could still knock guys out. That's how it reads to me. Because Jeff Horn is wildly unprepared. Ali Funeka puts you on your ass, okay? If Ali Funeka could do that, Pacquiao could do a lot better than that. And I don't think that's a stretch to say that neither.
Yo, Pacquiao dropped Algieri 6 times. Algieri had beat wrestling.
I mean, if
that's the last time he had an opponent like this on some bullshit.
If we gonna look at how Pacquiao looked against Bradley, okay, it's negligible. Why? You fought Bradley before. Let's look at how he looked against Vargas. Vargas is pretty big for welterweight. He's about 5'9", 5'10". He's a young guy. So you turn around and feed him a bigger. I don't want to call him a cherry because he was a champion. You turn around and feed him an even less prepared opponent in Jeff Horn. And then the rumor mill spinning now is that he may be facing Ponomariov if he wins this fight. It's like they're determined to keep Manny away.
Jeff Horn,
listen.
Jeff Horn the champion at?
Listen, guys. This is just to give you an example of the level of the bullshit, right? This is all geared for Manny Pacquiao to hold on to that belt until Bob Arams is ready to pass the torch to Terrence Crawford or whoever the fuck goes to 147. In the WBO ranking system, you got Jeff Horn at 1, Lucas Matisse at 2, Vargas at 3, Bradley fucking Skeet at 4, Terrence who the fuck, I'm not going to be trying to pronounce this last name at 5, Ponomariov at 6, Adrian Luciano Varan, some motherfucker named Kova, whatever the fuck, at 8, Sammy Valentin at 9, Tim Bradley is all the way at fucking 10. Okay,
Tim Bradley still in the top 10, ain't that?
Right. So Tim Bradley at 10. So this is designed for Manny Pacquiao to hold on to that belt for as long as possible, man.
Because look, he can keep on fighting the #1 contender and they gonna keep on saying, how you gonna call him a cherry when he's the #1 contender? That's what they told me about Jeff Ford. I told everybody shut the fuck up though. I was like, shut the fuck up. Because anybody, who the fuck is all of the fucking top 10 now? I didn't even know the list. I knew this was some bullshit.
This is where it gets disrespectful. This is where you have to look at the WBO, and I understand when Ibn says, because he says this a lot, that you can't take the rank seriously. The WBO is the reason that people in general say that. Mm-hmm. Because that long ago, believe it or not, was at #1. WBO. Jeff Horn was #2. How the fuck do you go from #1 to #10? And what did Jeff Horn, from the time that they announced this fight, from that time till now, did Jeff Horn fight somebody in the parking lot? Because
that's what I'm trying to
up to #1.
That's what. See, thank you, Joyce.
That's the reason that a lot of people, when they look at these ranks sometimes, and I know that there are sanctioning bodies that have a lot more merit than others. You know, the IBF. You know, nothing comes easy with the IBF. Nothing. Yeah. I mean, honestly, nothing comes easy. Second would be the WBC. Third would be the WBA. But out of all of them, the shittiest by far that has just the least amount of merit would have to be the WBO.
You know what's funny about that too, though? You know what's even funny about that is you have a belt that's really not that recognized, and they're even better than the WBO, and that's the fucking IBO.
Yeah.
And they're actually better than the yeah, they're not even that recognized and shit.
No, that's
like,
true.
You get the IBO just for beating the champion. Okay, yeah, take this IBO belt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I talk trash about
unless you're Chris Eubank Jr. and you need to fight for that joint. That's how whack he is. He had to fight for the IBO.
I talk
to fight for the IBO.
I talk about that belt, but I will say this. On some ranking shit, I would respect them before I respect WBO, man.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers are the worst. IBF, I talk shit, right? But the IBF, I actually consider they shit because I know that they like sticklers. Like they'll have people on it that you don't know like that, but the whole thing is that that motherfucker really fighting his way up. That's why you don't know him.
Yep.
And it's and it's real. Like they really they believe in their rules and shit. But everybody else, as far as I'm concerned, you could buy them motherfucking rankings. You ain't gonna tell me WBO shit ain't like that.
We don't need to be naive. If we had to have a hierarchy of merit, the IBF would be the #1 belt in terms of merit.
Yeah.
Because those contenders have to climb those ranks. The second one would be the WBC, where it's kind of like the IBF, but don't be surprised if Vladimir Klitschko ends up at #2 for losing a fight. Because that's what the fuck happened. He loses to Anthony Joshua. He ends up at #2, where Luis Ortiz was. Luis Ortiz is undefeated. Luis Ortiz just had a very active 2016. He gets bumped down.
Wait a minute. You have a dude as your mandatory who beat Derek fucking Rossi. Are you kidding?
Make it worse. He beat Derek Rossi in 2015. He's number one.
2015.
He's #1. He's been #1 the whole 2015 till now. It's like you can't make this shit up, man.
Man, look, the only thing about the WBC is this. They like to make big fights. Like they'll enforce some shit if it's a big fight because they like to make big fights. Like that's how they are. WBA just like big fights and big money champions and shit.
Look, I get that I get that angle that the WBC wants to make money off of the sanctioning fees. The thing is, Vladimir Klitschko's not after the WBC title, so why you gonna fuck over Luis Ortiz like that?
Hey, wait a minute. You know what? Fuck both those guys. We're talking about Manny Pacquiao right now, guys.
Oh, right.
Yes,
you always do this. Y'all always do this.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me ask you.
Damn.
That's because George, you're giving us topics that don't make no sense. I mean, Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. Okay.
No, wait. No, Bo. George wants you to break down Jeff Horn versus Manny Pacquiao. Break that shit down, please.
Oh, no. Here we go. Pacquiao. Okay, here we go. Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn. Here's my breakdown. There it is. All right. Next.
First of all, why is such a huge bag of M&Ms just devoured like that?
Yeah, well,
pipe down. All right.
Maintaining this 175, I gotta put some sugar in it.
Pac-Man. All right, sure. That fantasy weight level you can't keep. I mean, when's the last time you've been on the scale and you actually like
the last time you believe WBO is good with rankings?
Well, listen, I never believed it in the first place. I'm just saying to get to a certain level. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Listen.
Nobody did a fucking breakdown for Molina versus Crawford, right? I mean, did any of you guys do a breakdown for that fight?
Actually, I think we kind of did.
No, we talked about it.
I mean, we didn't do an extensive breakdown.
George.
But it was like, what's good? We had a prediction.
You were the guy who said. You were the guy who said, I don't need to do a breakdown for that fight. And just skimmed right past that shit.
Actually, you know what? You're right. I think I did.
You said that those were literally.
George, Pacquiao can't get no breakdown. We opened up the show.
All right. So this is the last question I'll leave with on this fight, since you guys are just so tired of Manny being great.
Yeah, right.
So is anything less than a knockout a disappointment?
No.
Pacquiao don't be knocking people out no more because Pacquiao box smarter now. He not reckless tornado Pacquiao Tasmanian devil. Now he smartly strategically boxes his way to a half a tornado, and he don't always tornado. So I wouldn't be surprised if he don't knock Horn out. They gonna beat him.
What if he just doesn't get a knockout at all?
No,
Listen,
well,
look,
here's
look,
the
look,
thing.
you know why? No, listen, you know why Bob picked that guy. He was there when Ali Funeka put him on his ass. He was there for that. He figures this is guy that he can, throw in there with Manny, make Manny look good. You know what I'm saying? Sell a couple of fights as a result of that. But the reality of it all is, if Manny don't knock this guy down, Ponomarev is probably next.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Like, I actually feel like if you want to sell Manny in the manner that they want to sell him as, oh, Manny is back, then he has to get a knockout. If you want to sell him, oh, Manny is back, he ends the streak, Manny's back, then you have to get a knockout, because Bob, that's what he wants to sell you, is that Pacquiao is back, so now let's put more money into him. We gave it to you on free. Now we're going to put him in there with Ponomarev, and I'm going to sell you that because now you know Manny is back. He hasn't been having a knockout. So if you want to capitalize on this, then he has to get a knockout. But at the very least, he has to dominate this dude all 12 rounds, like just like he did Chris Algieri. Actually, he has to do him just like that.
Right.
Yeah, and it seems like from what him and Roach, they really are determined on getting a Mayweather rematch. They said Floyd Mayweather has been to the gym on 2 occasions since the fight, and Roach, has a belief that there's a possibility for that fight. So they actually still are eager to try to want to impress to make that fight. I believe almost a knockdown is mandatory.
Listen,
at the very least.
If Manny gets this guy out of there, don't be surprised if Danny Garcia gets the fight, because Danny Garcia came to Freddie Roach, and that's out of Freddie Roach's mouth. He said he walked into this gym, he shook my hand, he said, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao. This happened not that long ago. If Manny looks great out there, if he beats the shit out of this kid, not great, if he beats the shit out of this kid, don't be surprised if Danny Garcia is his next opponent. If he doesn't beat the shit out of this kid and he just wins the fight, Ponomarev is next.
Well, what I find really interesting though about it all is Floyd said something a while back, and everybody was like, "Oh, you just hate." Floyd said that every time they try to sell a Manny fight, them motherfuckers always use me to do it.
They do.
Yep.
And everybody was, "Oh, you just being hateful." Like, no, because you're retired. You're about to fight. I'm not even gonna mention that shit. But you're retired.
Don't even.
No, I'm not gonna mention that shit.
No, but what you were gonna say? What were you gonna say, Evan?
No, what I was gonna say is that what they do is they do always tie it to Floyd. Like, what they'll do is be like, well, you know what I'm saying, like Manny can fight Floyd again. And like,
I mean, you were saying something before that we don't need to bring up.
No, it ain't about that.
We don't need to bring up Mayweather.
Listen, I ain't fucking with Floyd right now. You know I ain't fucking with him. You know I ain't. You know I'm not, motherfucker. You talk to me personally. I'm just saying. But look though, I ain't even worried about that fool. Manny Pacquiao better whoop Jeff Horn ass. That's all I gotta say.
You do.
Yeah.
All right. So final predictions on you guys before we move on.
Ass whooping by Manny.
Ass whooping, 6 to 7 rounds.
6 to 7.
Yeah, I got 6-7 round knockout, maybe even 5th.
Knockout. You guys are all leaning knockout, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you want to sell him, if you want to sell him, he's on free TV now. He gets a knockout on free TV. We haven't seen that since Eric Morales or somebody? But he gets a knockout on free TV. You can sell a pay-per-view your next fight.
What I was going to say, though, George, what I was going to say was, now I remember, was that they're going to sell Manny on some world tour type shit. Because, like, if you put Manny in places where, like, they don't be getting big fights, it's Manny Pacquiao. It don't even
he's
matter.
doing the old Ali tour.
It don't matter how old he is, because it's Manny Pacquiao, and y'all ain't never had nobody. So if Manny Pacquiao go everywhere and fight the guy and fuck him up, Bob can make a lot of money.
No, I was just going to say that. You can make it, because put it like this. If you put Jeff Horn right here in Vegas, motherfuckers wouldn't even know that fight was taking place.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
But you put it in Australia, and they love him. They know him. He's one of theirs. And like you said, again, take him to China. They love, like you said, you can sell Manny Pacquiao. You can make $5-6 million with him.
Perspective is everything. You couldn't fill 15 seats over here with that fucking fight, okay? But over there in Australia, 55,000 seats, man. 55,000 for that fight that we laughing at.
And it's on pay-per-view over there.
Yeah. Yep. So that's perspective. That, you know, at the end of the day, I don't fault Bob for doing this. And even though I'm not a Pacquiao fan, I hate his fans so fucking much, like so much. But it's hard to ask a lot of Manny. It's hard to do that. If you look at his whole career, it's hard to be like, well, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because, like, yo, this motherfucker had wars, man. He had wars. He don't have a style that lends itself to longevity. It's hard for me to be like, well, you need to go over there and fight Spence, or you need to go over there and fight Keith. I want him to, because he's a champion, because I know he could do it, because I know that neither one of them have ever fought anybody like him. And that's saying a lot. Those are two of the best guys that are out there right now. But like I said, I understand. Without condoning and condemning, I understand. I'm not, you know, go just fuck Jeff Horn up and get your money, man.
My problem is that he got that belt.
That's my problem too.
Yeah.
That's all our problem. We want to see one guy holding all the belts. Manny is obstructing that process because we know that there's a good chance that he won't fight those guys. You think Bob is going to throw him in there with Errol Spence?
No, you know, well, here's the thing.
They let him fight Bud, though.
I'm about to say, you'll see it happen if Bud Crawford wins that belt.
I mean, guys, what's the hurry? What's the hurry to unify? I mean,
nah, fuck that. You ain't gonna protect me now, motherfucker. You try to run the protection. You ain't gonna protect me.
I couldn't even give a straight.
You try to run the protection agency and shit. Yeah, I'm saying the George Protection Agency. Fuck that.
I mean, what's the hurry? I mean, let the guy just hold the belt for a little bit. You know what I mean? Just let him just chill on that belt. That's his glory. And he'll just go off. You know, he'll just hand it off when he's ready.
Jesus Christ. About the WBO champ. Speaking about the WBO, it's like, God, these guys, Cotto's going to be the WBO champion, man. Or worse, Common Guy might be the WBO champion.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And that's being completely. That's
so
being
Cotto is going to win a
eclipsed.
belt that's exactly 1 pound above the weight that he didn't want to fight.
Yep.
Christ. It's like you can't, because you can't make this shit up. It's in your face. Like, yes, what? I forgot what the analogy that Ibn said was that, yeah, we going to do that because we could do that. It was some shit like that. Like, they don't care, dog. They doing it in front of you in your house.
Yeah.
While you there.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't care. Like,
you know what? You know what this shit is kind of remind me of? It kind of reminds me of if you ever had a job, and it's like they do what they want, because if you ever had a job and you used to get paper checks, and you're looking at your check to see who you pay, and you be like, who the fuck is FICA? Like, what the fuck is these motherfuckers doing on my check? That's kind of what this shit is with these rankings. Like, who the fuck is fucking Saddam Ali? Who the fuck?
Motherfucker FICA since I was 17, bro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I understand state. I understand federal. I even understand Medicaid. But who the fuck is FICA? And what is his goddamn job?
Me and FICA gonna have some words, man. That's who out of pocket. Yo, real shit. That's American problem,
WBO, man.
That's American problem.
That's the WBO is the mom and pop shop of sanctioning bodies, man. It just, you know, it is what it is. They'll burn your bread, but fuck it.
And they're gonna make a lot of money on this fight. That's the crazy part. They're gonna make a lot of money on this fight.
They'll make some money.
No, they are. They definitely are. This is an event, and that's the key element.
Right.
That as far as that world tour that Bob wants to put Manny on, this is an event. It's not an event to us.
Because
it may not even be an event in the Philippines.
I mean, when was the last time Australia even had a significant fighter who Costa Zoo? Because I don't think Anthony Mundane was that significant, really.
We on a world tour.
Oh, they had Daniel.
Y'all hear George?
Hey,
I hear George just singing "We Are the World" and shit.
He was George talking about "We on the world tour" with Muhammad
right. But they're doing it the right way.
They got Lucas Brown. He's back in the mix. They got Lucas Brown. He's back in the mix. He's about to have a fight, I think, or he just had one.
Yo. I'm not even trying to be smart. Didn't Lucas Brown have a PED case?
Yeah, he did. Not a pet case, a banned substance case.
Oh,
I mean, but he looks like a science experiment, man. So
that's what I said.
does.
So, guys, not sure if you heard, but some 2 fights got added to the Broner Garcia fight.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Washington, who was recently coming off a surprising performance against Deontay Wilder, won all 5 rounds, if you ask me, including the round he actually got knocked out in.
Yeah.
And Gerald Miller, who is honestly, this is probably I feel like I haven't seen this guy fight since last summer. Has he? I'm sure he's
Wait
fought
for a while.
since. What was that, Julius?
No, he was going for a while. He was.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't seen him since almost a year ago. You want to not celebrate freedom? Whatever the fuck that was. Anyway, so don't fuck with me, Bo.
Nah, I was saying I was getting you a song.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh,
I got you. Okay. I appreciate the move there.
I was going through my ID.
You're watching porn?
Huh?
What the fuck is he watching?
Like just the ad came up. He's in there watching that video too, in that New York cafe. Fucking black and white. And also, I'm sorry, Jermell Charlo. And I believe this is his first middleweight fight, right? This is his debut middleweight fight.
First fight
against Jorge Sebastian Highland in a title eliminator.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got this line.
They got that Arum belt.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So was able to get that title eliminator against Jorge Sebastian Highland. So that those 2 fights have been added to Broner Garcia. What a fucking card. Am I right? I mean, like that just made the event for me.
Yeah.
Like this is a must-see event now.
Yeah.
If you ask me, if it wasn't before, I mean, I don't know why it wasn't, but
it was already a good fight, but they really decked out that card. They really did.
Yeah. So let's discuss it. Washington versus Miller. I mean, it's a good fight. Honestly, and I feel like it's this is more brought out, I guess, I don't want to say showcase, but a test for Miller.
Yep.
If that's what I think, bro, don't frown, Bo. You having issues over there, creating wrinkles over there? Is we having issues?
Go ahead, man. It's just when I hear people try to go ahead, man.
No, I'm being honest. I think that's what it is for Miller.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I believe this is a test for Miller. Washington, even though he only has 1 loss, both of these guys have 18 victories. Gerald Washington has 12 knockouts, and Gerald Miller has 16. Obviously, I'm saying power leads for Gerald Miller. But Washington could possibly box him to a good certain amount of this fight, but he just never seemed to have the stamina to really last out. I mean, he barely survived against Amir Mansour.
Well, I mean,
in a fight he won.
You got to think about how the fight's going to break down.
Washington.
Gerald Miller is probably going to be eating a lot of left hands in that fight. This is not a guy that has head movement. This is not a guy that has upper body movement. This is not a guy that's fast on his feet. He doesn't have fast hands. Or his only virtue that I've seen, because I've been doing my homework on him, he's got a lot of power. He could get you out of there in 1 shot, but it's hard to land a meaningful punch on a guy like Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington could fight forwards or backwards. He's got him beat in the height and the reach department. I think he's got like an 82-inch wingspan. The Gerald Miller, who's got like 78 inches. You know, there's the edge in athleticism. It has to go to Washington. He's nimble, and he's not a lanky guy like Wilder. He's a sturdy guy that can move around. It's hard for me to see. Honestly, it's hard for me to see Jarrell Miller winning this fight. If he does win it, it would have to be in an exchange, and it would have to be that in that exchange he managed to clip Gerald Washington. But that's a tall order.
Or he just catch him because it's the heavyweight division.
That's what I mean, though. That he just clips. He just
in the heavyweight division, you get in the heavyweight division, motherfucker will catch you. It's a wrap.
Bo, you're awfully quiet over there.
I refuse to sit here and entertain the thought of a motherfucker that probably looked like some shit that I shit out in the fucking toilet has an opportunity. Gerald Miller is fucking horrible. This motherfucker gasses out. He's fucking sloppy. Okay? After 5 rounds, he just wants to lean on you till you get tired so he can bomb on you. Now, Gerald Washington can win this fight only by one way. If he fights like he did when he fought Deontay Wilder, it's an easy fight for him to win. He can win it all day long. All he got to do is box him. But my problem is, I don't know if Gerald Washington can do that for 12 rounds. This is like an offensive lineman versus a fucking overweight defensive fucking lineman. That's exactly what this shit reminds me of.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to allude to Ibn's point. Because that's a very valid point that in this division, this is the one division where you could be winning the whole fucking fight. Every fucking round. It could be a blowout. All it takes is one punch. That's really Jarrell Miller's only virtue is that he's heavy-handed. You know, that fat bastard, he could hit. But once again, that's a tall order. Gerald Washington has virtues to him. He's a very athletic guy. I'd give him the edge in speed. I'd give him the edge in movement and skill and defense. I could see him, just catching Jarrell Miller, trying to close the distance, getting hit with left hands, right hands.
Try to close the distance, keep getting clipped up.
Well, you know what, though? You know what? I think the biggest question for us is going to be, we've seen Gerald Washington because like he impressed me in that Wilder fight. I'm like, man, Wilder. I made the comment that the motherfucker didn't stand the chance of a snot bubble in your nose surviving, and he impressed the shit out of me. So we've seen Gerald Washington raise his game, and given that we've never seen Miller have to do that, and what happens when Miller gets hit? Because Gerald Washington can pop too. So what happens when Miller get hit with something that he don't like?
Yeah, I mean, look at who Miller's fought. His biggest win is Fred Cassie. Okay?
Yeah.
Fred Cassie. If you look over at Gerald Washington, he fought Eddie Chambers. He fought Amir Mansour. And who else he fought, man? He fought a couple of guys, and it's like, those are good experience fights. Those ain't like big wins. But a guy like Amir Mansour, well, you gonna learn something in that fight. A guy like Fred Cassie is, all right, well, you lost to Huey Fury. And that's all I have to say about that.
And I think Miller is only, 6 feet, 5'11", 300, almost over 300 pounds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, Miller, he's about 6'4". I think he's got a 78-inch wingspan, but it's how the weight is distributed. This guy is not light on his feet at all right? So the previous point y'all made that about 12-round fighter, maybe that's Miller's only out. That maybe this guy will get tired of punching him in the face. I don't know, but right, if you ask me who I think is going to win, well, I'd have to give it to Gerald Washington.
Yeah.
Not a lot of virtue in Jarrell Miller, man. It's not a lot of virtue. Yeah, he's not even really a complete fighter yet. If you look at it.
Does anyone know on the top of their hand how old Miller is?
This is a fight with two guys. Bottom line is, this is a fight with two guys that has they both have 18 wins. It's an even fight, and that respect, and they're gonna fight, and that's gonna sift some things out. One will move up, one will go down.
I think the bigger question is, I just don't want this to be a situation where if Gerald Miller wins, motherfuckers start talking about some Deontay Wilder. I don't want to hear
I mean,
that.
that's not going to be the case. That's not
going to say that bullshit.
I swear to God, I just don't want to hear that.
No, listen. Jarrell Miller is really far from Deontay Wilder right now. He's really, even if he wins this fight, he's still far away from that guy. He'd still have to go through fucking.
Yeah, but Julius, you and I both know you got motherfuckers on the page that will entertain that shit.
They will, but that's for Hater Wilder. If you have common sense, you know Jarrell Miller is very far from a title shot right now.
Yeah.
Even if he wins this fight, he's still far from it. You got Ortiz in front of you. You got Romain Stavridis in front of you. You got fucking Dylan White in front of you. There's a lot of guys in front of him in the line. So he's like, to entertain a title shot after this fight is just because you want some hate and shit.
Well, and plus, no one's really backing up Miller like that. At least not. There's not that many genuinely Miller fans.
Dog,
Let's just say that.
Gerald Miller,
White didn't have that many fans before last week.
I'm about to say, if dude, the only thing about calling out, see, this is why I love when motherfuckers call it, because the only thing about calling out Deontay Wilder, it makes everybody that don't like Deontay Wilder suck the very dick of these motherfuckers that's calling him out.
That's true though. That's true though. All we got to do is say something.
Because guess what? Them same dudes, when me and Julius was bumping heads about Ortiz, them same dudes that was on Ortiz, they are like, where are they now? That's what they're like. They're not even talking to us Ortiz no more. So, come on, man.
All in all, I mean, it's variables in this fight because when you look at that Izwagbe Ugono fight, Ugono, I mean, it looked like, oh yeah, he got that shit, man. That's money in the bank. Look how it turned out. So there's always that. You know, he could be winning the fight up until a certain point, and then that's it.
Yeah, right. That's my only concern is I just don't know. Gerald Miller has everything. I mean, Washington has everything to win this fight. I just don't know if he can sustain that over 12 rounds. That's my only issue with him.
Oh, great.
Because the punch he got caught with by Wilder, he just got lazy. He lost focus and got lazy.
Yeah, and the other thing about that punch is he got up from that punch. He didn't get spilted. He got, he didn't get sent to the hospital after that.
No.
So that's not bad.
No, he just got stopped.
Right. It was a premature stoppage though. I thought the ref shouldn't have stopped the fight though.
No, a lot of people did, but if you would have looked at Washington's legs.
Oh yeah,
they were fine.
No, they weren't. He was wobbly, man. He was wobbly.
I mean, but he moves like that though. Like if you notice, even before that shit, anytime, at least when it would start, I mean, he was always kind of like Bucky. You know what I mean? Trying to, real Bambi in the legs.
No, he's fettuccine. He had fettuccine under him. I could see it because I thought the stoppage was premature, and I honestly thought that, they're trying to save Wilder from this fucking fight because that's what he's doing. Outside of this, he is losing this fucking fight.
Oh hell yeah!
But I rewound the shit to when he walked off. When the ref stopped it, after he stopped.
Yeah.
If you look at Gerald Washington's legs after the stoppage, you see that he's wobbly. Like he's off balance. So the ref probably saw something that we couldn't see in the real time But he was definitely shaking afterwards.
Up on them in person, you could tell. Like sometimes they be looking like they are and they be glass-eyed. Like when you up on them in person, that shit different.
Like Peter Quillen in the Jacobs fight.
It'd be like sometimes like they could like cause some shit be unresponsive and some shit do. I seen somebody be fucked up one time and he was fucked up and he couldn't really move like that, but he was talking straight. Like, no, I could fight. And niggas in the gym like, no, man, you can't take no more. He like, I'm cool. But like the way he was, his body was like this. And he was like holding his hands out trying to say like, hold my, like, check me. And they like, no, but I'm looking at him. He was messed up. Now I realized like, that's like even when you go to the Kovalev situation a couple weeks ago, right? And people like, yo, that joint was premature. And I'm like, yeah, but like you were saying beforehand, like you wasn't fighting back. And when somebody up on you and they seen you get hit to a body a couple times and they saw your face and they heard you go,
Can we talk about that shit for a second? Can we talk about that shit? Because it's like, here's a guy who got punched in the stomach 3 times, no response. He walks over to the ropes, folded up. Where do you see that he's either defending himself or fighting back? And people want to question. People wanted to question that. I'm like, yo, y'all just be looking for shit to say, man. Y'all really do. Y'all looking for shit to say.
But you want to know what it is? I'll give them this though. That's like that's not the normal stoppage. You don't see that one that often. So to somebody that's not like a hardcore fan or like you ain't been watching boxing that long, that's the first time you probably came across that. I see that shit all the time though. I see shit like that. So I know what's up. Especially when you deal with kids, you see shit like that a lot because they're young. You know what I mean? They kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see one of them, like, you see them throw up sometimes, get hit with the body shots and shit like that. You see all of that shit. So understand, like, if you up on it and you watching somebody take them Jones, you'll have an understanding that they done. But people at home won't.
But also, Evan, you got to understand this though. Nothing drops the legs like a body shot. You get a motherfucker in the head and make his legs wobbly, but you punch him in the gut, them legs is gone.
You can recover from a shot to the head. You can't from
like your legs don't want to go down from a shot to the head. They're like, fuck you, stand up. But you get in the body like, oh, wait a minute.
Listen, body shots that make you give you a delayed reaction. You get hit with a body shot and fall 4 seconds after.
Yeah, shit, I got hit with them. I got hit with a few like that.
No, listen, you be boxing, right? Joker hit you up under here, right? Boom, you be like.
Just you know what's a perfect reminder of that is the Golovkin Murray body knockdown where he just grazed the top of the bump, which has to hurt at full like in full action of it. You gotta think just getting nipped in the shoulder plex like that.
Golovkin Lemieux Kovalev should have did. Lemieux got hit with a body shot that folded him up. He took a knee. He took a fucking knee.
It took him a minute to realize it, but he went down.
He took a knee. So why the fuck didn't Sergey take a knee? That's the whole fucking point. Like, look, that guy was compromised. They had to stop the fight. He got punched in the stomach 3 times. He wasn't doing nothing. The fight's over. He folded up like a beach chair. Fight's over.
Anyway, speaking of a WBC champion,
fight's over, Joe.
Okay, all right, nice. Jermell Charlo, Jorge Sebastian Hyland. Now you guys, I'm sure, are familiar. Jorge Sebastian Hyland has been a name that's been floating atop of the rankings for about almost 2 years now. Hardly seen any film of this guy. I've seen maybe 2 fights total, and I had to find them. They were never broadcast. I had to go look for them.
You had to search the deep net, the dark net. You had to go in the dark net.
Yeah, had to go to the dark net. Had to go to rotten.com to go find this shit. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you guys have taken a glimpse of Hyland, but power guy, come forward.
He's like a bigger Lucas Matisse.
In a way, yes. Actually, pretty much. I think that's a solid comparison.
They're both Argentinians. It's kind of like a regional thing for them to fight that way.
And I always found it funny how Maidana and Matisse had similar styles as they fought each other in the amateurs too.
Right.
So I just always thought that was funny that they were damn near the same type of fighter. But go ahead. Like I said, Charlo, this is his first go round at the full 160-pound limit for a title eliminator, be the #1 mandatory for the WBC middleweight championship. How do you guys think Jermell Charlo is going to fare in this fight? I mean, this is kind of, I mean, it's proper placement by Al Heyman, but somewhat of a demanding task considering how I don't know, you know, I guess I don't want to milk too much of the ratings here, you know, you know, like I said, this guy's been floating around #1 for a minute.
Take him off.
And yeah, so I mean, and there's really still a mystery out on this guy. I don't even know how to really come at this if you're Jermell Charlo, right? I mean, should you be confident that
he's got to box him. He can't go in there being under the impression that he's going to hurt this guy the way that he hurt, Julian Williams. This is likely a guy who's going to be able to deal with what you've got. So your best bet is to just outbox that guy. until you really get a read on him, till you hear him when the shots land, and you find out little by little whether or not you can hurt this guy. Because off top, you're not going to notice. Your first fight in the division, you never fought anybody over here. This is a top contender. This ain't a number 5 or a number 8 or a number 10 or a 12. You take your time with this guy, see if you can hurt him. Because if you can't, you might be in deep shit.
What about you, Bo?
The interesting part to me that I find about this is the winner of this fight, depending on what happens in Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, could actually wind up being the WBC champion.
He could
actually wind up being the W, because Canelo is not going to take that belt. He's pissed off about it, right? He's not going to take it.
Wait a minute. He's not going to take it.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, WBC's prez said we're sanctioning the fight anyway.
They can sanction it anyway, but they can sanction it, but Canelo's not going to pay them fees, and he's pretty much going to just kick that belt. So they could wind up, whoever wins this could wind up being the champion or fight to be the champion. But I like this from this aspect. Highland, in my opinion, he reminds me of who did Jamel's brother fight? Charles Hadley. He's a step above Charles Hadley. Okay, he's a good basic fighter with a somewhat of a decent amateurish style and shit like that. He's a little bit better than Hadley, because Hadley just didn't know what the fuck. Like, he didn't know that when someone turn you, you don't turn with your head up. You turn. You spin with your shoulder so the punch can't hit you. You don't know that. But listen. This is Jamal Charlo should have been at 160 a while back. He was having trouble making that weight, so he should have been there. But he shouldn't go in here thinking, he shouldn't go in here approaching this fight like you're nothing like Julian J. Rock. I'm gonna run you over. No, that would be a big mistake. That would be a big mistake.
Well, that's the virtue.
Pump that pole like jab of his and work behind it. Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good boxer. That counter that he caught Julian Williams with, that was sweet, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he has a pole, like he knocked down Trout with that jab. He knocked down what's the other boy name? K9 Bundridge with that jab, and he knocked down J-Rock with that jab. So work behind that jab, man. It's a good pole-like jab. Work behind it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ben? What's your thoughts on the fight?
I only seen like a little bit of Sebastian. I think with Charlo stepping up, the main thing is you want to box. You want to you definitely don't want to come into a higher weight class thinking you fit the steamroll one of these guys coming off a J-Rock win, because J-Rock is not necessarily a big 54. He's just a 54.
Exactly.
So you're going to be dealing with another level of strength and power, and you just want to respect that and box at the best of your ability. One thing I took from the Julian fight was Julian's hands was quicker, and Julian was doing good after he dropped him. Julian had got up, he started doing good, but Charlo was like patient. He sat and he waited and he struck. He was successful.
And Charlo has a good chin because Julius caught him with some good shots.
Yeah, he knelt him a couple times, like pop, 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 pop. I was like, damn. And he just ate that shit. And he was like, okay, this dude is quick. And he like, let me settle down, and I gotta get him. And he was able to do it. So he do what he gotta do. He come up here and box smart at 160. I think he's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? And ain't he the one that trained Ronnie Shields, right?
No, I think he's the one who separated.
I thought the little one separated.
No. That's Jamel. Jamel is with Derrick James. Jamal is still running.
So the little one, not the one that separated.
Yeah, he did. Jamel is with Derrick James. Jamal is with Ronnie Shields.
Look, I get the names mixed up. The big one is the one with Ronnie Shields. That's the one that's fighting at 160, right?
Right, Jamal.
All right. Ronnie Shields ain't gonna let him come in there and try to steamroll nobody.
That's true. He's not.
Ain't gonna send him in.
I mean, and then overall, Jamal Charlo, and he impressed me not with his power in the Julian Williams fight, but with how he placed his shots and how he took his time and how he was poised. That was beautiful. It was perfect.
But see, that's because of the trial that he went through to get to that point. Like I said, he fought Trout. He fought K9 Bundridge. You know what I'm saying? Like the fights he had led up to him being able to do that, because If you go back to the Trout fight, he wasn't doing that in the Trout fight. Go back to the K9 Bunches fight, he wasn't doing that in the K9 Bunches fight. That's what I'm saying. So he got the experience to win. So I'm hoping he don't go in and think I'm gonna blast out this guy because I want to make a name for myself or make a statement. That would be totally wrong, man. Totally wrong.
And with this, you know, the Charlos in general are just too fucking big for 154. So maybe he'll arrive at 160 better because he's, you know, the weight can be distributed evenly. They don't got to kill themselves to make that weight. Well, himself, I should say. Jamel is still at 54. I forgot who he about to fight. He about to have a fight. But all in all, I think honestly, I think he'll do well. I think Jamal will not just win the fight, but have a good showing because he's a smart fighter. And I was never big on them before, but after the Julian Williams fight, it's like, nah, this guy's smart. He's smart. He's not just bullying these guys. He's got a good ring IQ.
You know what I would like to see though? Let's say Canelo does win, and he drops that WBC belt. It would be great to see him and him and Daniel Jacobs fight for that motherfucker.
He is not going to fucking fight Daniel. Are you out of your mind? He ain't fighting no. Get the fuck out. He's not going to park next to Daniel Jacobs, much less fight him. He won't park next to him.
Listen, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm going to be honest about it. I really believe this. If that's what he had to do to get that belt,
he'll fight him.
He'll fight him for the belt. I think Charlo would do that.
Man.
Yeah, he would, man.
I'm quick to say somebody ain't gonna fight.
Jamal has listen.
I'm
Jamal has absolutely no fucking respect for nobody but his brother. He has no fucking respect for nobody, but he's like, man, fuck all of them. I ain't friends with none of them.
He fuck around and get beat up first before he don't fight somebody.
That's true too.
Very prideful guy.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this is what?
I said that's something you lose as you get older. Remember that.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. Yeah. Probably lose respect the older you get.
See, the younger me would be coming through this goddamn phone.
Oh, okay. I like how you set the example there. The Bella and Mayweather Promotions will be promoting this event, by the way.
That's cool.
Figured I just dropped that gem there.
About Billions ain't doing nothing?
No, surprisingly not. Well, they do have Robert Easter fighting this weekend, right?
Yeah,
he's fighting Friday.
Yeah, he got that. He's fighting that guy with the fucked up name. What's his name?
Shafikov, man. Shafikov.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, about that real quick. I mean, since it's already on topic, I mean, how is it? I mean, anyone seeking an upset here, or we just
no.
Robert too fucking big. He's too fucking big for that division. Okay, this is ridiculous. Like that motherfucker's huge.
He's been smuggled in that division, definitely.
He's young. He like Bud.
Bud's not that big, man. Bud ain't that big.
165 pounds the night you fight him, bro. Hank Lundy told me that personally on Saturday. He said, man, boy was 165 pounds, bro. He said he get back big. He said he get down. They young.
True.
They could do that.
And he has told.
That's how Canelo be doing it.
He also told me the same thing. That is Hank Lundy, because you know
word. He told me
we're
that
cool
shit.
like that.
So he wasn't even making excuses or nothing. He just was like, no, he do get big.
I'm just cool with
Digger
like
planets. Digger planets, you killing me, man.
We're just having some fun. That's all.
Now I like that fight. But my only issue though is Robert Easter's talking about something he wants to knock Shafikov out. And I'm saying to myself, if that's the case, you better go to the body because a guy like him, you're not gonna knock him out at the head.
Andre Ward has everybody punch somebody in the stomach.
Yep, I'm serious though. But that jab to the body. That jab to the body will weaken him, man, because you're not gonna knock Shafikov out in the head. You got to go at his body, man. That's like David Benavidez did that to Porky Medina.
Yeah. Ward made body punching cool again.
Yeah.
Yo, listen.
Make body punch.
No, he made it illegal. It's illegal.
He made it cool, then he went illegal.
That shit might be like the Jordan rule. Hey, listen.
Yeah, right. You know, you gotta wear your fucking
from doing the crossover. When it was like Iverson could do the crossover as he did it on Jordan. to make happen to them goddamn body shots. He keep that shit up.
Yeah, you gotta wear your fucking shit all the way up to here now.
Whoa, no. Bo, I thought Bo was about to hit me with some shit. I'm not ready for.
I'm just saying, you gotta wear your guard damn near up to your fucking.
So I mean, wait a minute, fellas. Y'all forgetting about a very important topic that we're not talking about right now.
Kovalev.
Yes, that's exactly what I had on cue. Thank you for bringing that up. Sorry, that was a little burp. So Kovalev, you guys, has said it would be an interesting proposal working with Virgil Hunter. I'm going to bring up the direct quote real quick to quote him exactly. But Ward's trainer has offered to work with me. It is an interesting proposal, said Kovalev. I've asked my manager to find out if all this is true and under what conditions. So the fact that he's even intrigued on the conditions as far as working out terms sounds so real legitimacy in his interest. What do you guys think about this? I mean, you talk about a KD to Golden State move.
This KD to Golden State.
I mean, my perspective is this before I hand it off to you guys. It seems like this was for Ibn. It seems like from what you said on your stream that he seemed more, maybe it was like a move as of capped potential that he felt with John David Jackson. But in my respect, it wasn't anything that he really had capped out on. It just him just not obtaining it. Yep. And just by choice. So
yep.
What I mean, so in that case, for me, it's not that he's capped out and what he's learned. He just didn't listen, and so maybe that was just a personal issue that he has with John David Jackson.
Well, he had the same issue with Abel Sanchez.
And so, so I guess leans toward my question is: does a real change in trainer really mean anything? You know, it seems like it's more or less a self-reflection for Kovalev to me rather than a new trainer.
I'll say this though.
I'm gonna tell you something. This is why I mean something. Because he respects the fact that he got beat and he wants to be over there. Them guys beat me, and he knows that. Even if his fans don't want to admit it, he knows these guys beat me, and I need to do what they're doing because he beat the shit out of me. That's all I see. If you want to go over there with Virgil at this stage in the game, it's not low blows that want to fight. Then was it? It wasn't because if it was about low blows, well, you don't need to go to Virgil to learn how to punch somebody in the dick.
Nope.
Honestly, I mean, if that is not acquiescing to defeat, then I don't know what is.
You know, we talk about Kevin Durant going to Golden State, but before that happened, there was a certain ball player that was with Houston by the name of Ron Artest. And he said, I'm going to LA because that motherfucker over there in Kobe is a killer. That's what the fuck this is.
I can't beat him. I tried to beat him. I can't beat him.
What this is you're seeing everything that we have been talking about, everything that we have been reporting about. Motherfuckers telling we reach in and talking shit. You're seeing it unfucking fold. Kovalev has, first of all, I said it before, he has the motherfucker has been around enablers. Oh, it's the judges. Oh, it's the low blow. Nobody's ever told him, no, motherfucker, it's your fucking fault. That's what he needs. He needs a dude like Virgil Hunter. Like in that first fight when Andre Ward got knocked down, Virgil was in his ass. What the fuck is you doing? God damn it, that ain't happy. Virgil was in his ass and Ward didn't. He took it. That's what Kovalev needs, that type of training, and he realizes it. But the problem now is, though, he's even talking about going up in weight, though. See, like this is all about, hey, if Andre gonna stay at 175, because if he's not, I might not go that way because I'm talking about going up too. So right now, this boy is confused as fuck. I'm gonna keep it. Kovalev is confused. He don't know what to do. His way.
I don't say something. Confused. I don't think he's confused. I think he saw the light.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I think that you can lie to everybody. You can lie to your fans, and you can't lie to yourself. And I think that he understands. I really believe that he got this far kind of like doing it his own way.
He did.
I don't think he ever was listening to nobody except for probably the first person that told him how to box, just like I said on my live stream. And I think that the way that he treated John David and the way that John David allowed him to treat him made it where as though he just didn't respect him.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's hard-headed. I think that I don't think he could disrespect Virgil. I think he knows that, and I think he knows because fighters don't really like yes men coaches. They don't. Like, you gotta be like they dad or like they uncle that just don't give a fuck. Like, you gotta be like damn near willing to fight them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just noticed I'm a young coach. I see my OG coaches sometimes they be like, all right, well then whatever then, and they be like whatever.
But
Like,
Evan,
well, who you talking to?
But Evan, you
know
also
what I'm saying? Like, you need, like that type of relationship. Like, no, for real.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're
don't
talking about
like
there.
They don't be respecting you.
But
and when you lose their ear, it's over.
But Evan, also you got to realize something though. From the moment the fight was announced, Kovalev never dreamed that Andre Ward could beat him. He never dreamed he could beat him.
Nope.
And it has happened twice. And both times, like when he knocked Andre Ward down, he didn't jump on him. And Andre Ward was coming at him. He's like, damn, normally motherfuckers back away from me. This motherfucker actually coming at me. Because he still wants it. And he sees that and he wants some of that. He like, okay. Right. He sees that, listen, this shit, if I'm to make that step, that next level, the Andre Ward has good camps. Andre Ward don't have issues in his camp. He don't have problems in his camp. Okay?
Nope.
If motherfuckers ain't right, Ward ain't gonna have him there. Nope. And Kovalev sees that. He said, I need a camp like that if I'm gonna make it to that next level.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he
can.
Virgil said he wants to turn him into a devastating body puncher. That's the quote from Virgil. I believe he can do it. I think he should do it. He needs to do something drastic. You just lost 2 fights back to back. You are in uncharted territory. You are on a deadline because you're still under contract. You need to make decisions, bold decisions, if you're going to come back from this and be successful, or if you're just going to fade away into mediocrity because Ward put the blueprint out on you.
I'm just going to say, not to mention you're going to have everybody thinking that's the way to beat you now. So you got to show them, no, all of y'all can't do that shit. Just that motherfucker was able to do it. That's what you got to show them.
I mean, and that's one of those instances. That's one of those instances where character will either make you or break you. Accept Andre Ward beat you. That's okay. That's Andre Ward. Accept that he's a good fighter. Accept that he's a great fighter. Accept that and learn from that. Or you could be petty. You could blame, oh, he punched me in the dick. Oh, I was tired. Oh, the water wasn't right. Oh, the towel the towel chafed my neck. Make as many excuses as you want. You're not gonna grow making excuses. That's true. Go over there with Virgil and them guys might make you into something better than you were before you lost to Andre Ward.
And how many times y'all hear me say that? I said, man, stop making excuses for these fighters, dog. You got to stop doing that shit, man. Stop doing that shit. This motherfucker got beat because of his unwillingness to listen and his unwillingness to follow proper fucking instructions. Yep. You're not going to beat Andre Ward with your mind, just your mind. You need several minds to beat that motherfucker because his mind is like that. And the minds around him is like that. There's several minds over in that camp. That's what you need.
We already knew. We already knew going into the rematch. If we're gonna give who the cerebral fighter is, that would have to be Andre Ward. And from the first fight till now, they have been biding their time and studying you and studying that first fight, and they figured you out. You thought you were gonna walk in there and kick this guy's ass, and they figured you out. You need to go. You can figure shit out.
That's true.
Boy.
Now I personally don't like it because I'm just one of them people that I ain't coming to do shit with you until I whoop your ass. Fuck that. You can be 100 times. I get that one victory, then we cool. Then we can do shit.
I'm old school, yup.
Yeah.
I mean, like real fucking talk. My first introduction on this podcast was because me and Julius was beefing on the fucking page.
Goku and Vegeta, man. Yeah. Vegeta just gotta accept that he's number 2. It's okay to be number 2.
Right. Julius, accept you number 2. You right.
Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. So who is Goku? It's probably me.
That would have to be Andre Ward.
It's probably me. It's probably me. Yeah.
You know why Ward Goku? Ward Goku because he the only one. Like his resume is just like not fluff. It's just not.
We're talking. We're keeping it on the pod related. Obviously, he would be a Goku among us. I'm talking about among us.
I'm talking about boxing.
Among us, I would be Goku.
In boxing, period.
You can't look. Let's talk about Let's talk about Andre Ward. You can't do to his victories. What victories? You can't do that.
Absolutely not.
There's no angle that he played. There's no advantage that he sought. Fair fights. You can't disparage those victories. The only one that is even close to being contentious is not the last fight, but the fight before that. That was contentious.
The Cotto fight.
He couldn't get nobody.
You talking about the Alexander Brand fight?
Yeah, he couldn't get nobody.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay, sorry. I got you guys mixed up.
You talking about whose fight?
First Kovalev fight. That was contentious.
Oh, okay.
If somebody tells me Charles said it. He felt Kovalev won the fight. I'm not going to argue with him. I understand. I understand. I don't agree with that,
right.
But I understand.
Right. But here's the thing. Even if you thought that he rematched that guy the next fight.
Yeah.
He beat and he stopped him. So at the end of the day, on top of that, look who that guy was. Look who he was fighting and look at how fast he got to fighting him. Look at how the whole situation went.
Right.
He's still no fluff at all.
Yeah.
He just don't got nothing.
Even if you felt, go as far as saying, well, I think Ward lost the fight. Well, look at when he decided to fight Kovalev, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There was no waiting period. That fight got made in a timely fashion against a very dangerous
6 months. 6 months. 6 fucking months.
Then he spun around and stopped him.
6 months.
Don't leave that out. Don't leave that out. When Ward don't even got 10 knockouts and shit.
Shit.
And that's the most feared fighter. Like that was the most. I mean, like he like God rest the soul of the man, but like he killed somebody before, yo.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Ward went up and stopped him.
He did. But Ward said something though. If you guys watched the post press conference, Ward said something that was very important. He said, Virgil Hunter, he watched over me, but he didn't protect me. When I was 9 years old, he put me in there with that Golden Glove champion. He put me in there with that professional fight. I said, man, I don't know about this guy. And Virgil put me in there with that motherfucker. So I've been fighting guys like Kovalev my whole damn life.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was mentally prepared for that, always.
Bullshit.
And that's a testament, and this is important too, because I feel that because Fonfara got knocked the fuck out, people want to blame Virgil Hunter. Like, look, man, Fonfara was damaged goods before he even decided to link up with him, Like, Steve Kim was talking his bullshit.
No.
His bullshit. Like, how are we all of a sudden disparaging Virgil Hunter? Like,
look,
he isn't.
Hold on. You know what's funny about that?
Cup. What the fuck?
You know what's funny about that is two things. Somebody said something about that, and I said, okay, so.
That shit's huge.
When somebody was criticizing that, I said, okay, so where was the criticism when Freddie Roach fighters was getting blazed and ran the fuck over? Y'all weren't talking that shit.
Basically, we saw what the fuck happened to Pacquiao in the rematch.
Yeah, but
I didn't see a lot of guys talking about that.
Every time.
But I interviewed Breadman, and Breadman said something. He said, Virgil Hunter in training camp, because I was holding the pads for him. The way Fun Fighter came out in that first round was not what the fuck they worked on. He said, sometimes a fighter is just going to be who the fuck they are when that bell rings. And Breadman said that. He said, the way Fun Fighter came out in that first round, that is not what the fuck we worked on. He said that.
Oh, the ability to stick to a game plan does not fall on the trainer. It falls on the fighter.
There you
Virgil
go.
Cannot get out there and fight that fight for you. So if you decide to not follow the game plan, that's your fucking fault. It doesn't even reflect on him poorly as a trainer.
Because I refuse to believe Virgil didn't tell you watch that left hand.
Hey, you said Redman told you that?
Yeah, Breadman. Breadman told
How
me.
high? Sorry,
He
you know
said,
how to do it.
How high? Yeah, I know. George's on the hip hop shit today, boy. That motherfucker.
Up to the sky.
Hey,
Right.
side note for the YouTubers. I don't know if Ibn knows about this, but this is kind of news. The Precise Presenter has fallen. He's
He
all over
deleted
YouTube.
his
I don't know
account?
if he deleted his fucking account, dog.
Wow.
What?
That's nuts.
Yes.
What? Are you serious?
You know, he actually
I'm
used,
dead
he was a
serious.
staunch commenter on many of my videos.
Dude,
Listen.
he did
Listen,
something else.
Precise Presenter, Scoop Malinowski, and that damn Thunderdome is 3 people I just don't fuck with. I don't fuck with they shit. So I don't be knowing what they doing. Y'all gotta tell me, else I won't know.
Motherfucker tagged me to tell me about it.
I like
Precise
Hatman.
Presenter
I like
is gone.
Hatman, Coach Shelton, people like that. I like Moy Baran, 74, 78 Sports. I like people like that. I don't like I don't mess with them dudes, man.
That motherfucker told me I should call my show Truth in Blacks. Yeah. That motherfucker told me that, man. And I told him, I said, well, I hope you subscribe. Shit. That's all I said, well,
I hope your black ass subscribes.
That is
Yeah.
funny. That is funny.
That motherfucker told me you should call it Truth in Blacks.
Nah, that's funny. That's funny.
Yo, dog.
He said that shit.
Hey,
to
yo,
me.
quick shout out to Marky watching right now, among a few of the viewers right now. Shout out.
Marky, he woke over
Mark
there.
Harlemite.
Ain't they sleep right now? What's up, Marky?
No, Marky, I think he's,
Now, Marky
I
from
mean,
Harlem.
his last name is Harlemite, so I'm
Marky from
assuming
Harlem.
he's from Harlem.
Oh, all right.
He's from where?
Harlem.
Harlem?
My fault, B.
Mhm.
My fault, B.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
he's from that
assume
bitch
it.
ass city?
Whoa,
Bitch
done.
ass high?
What?
Bitch ass high? What?
He disrespected your whole barrel and shit.
That nigga said, well, huh?
What was that done?
That nigga dropped his cigarette. He got to light up another one.
Nah, man.
He says his
But yeah, yo,
his
he's
alias is Incognegro. Mark is funny. All right. Huh?
fucking
Sorry, you're talking in slow-mo right.
can't believe it. I'm like, yo, what the? This has been.
All right, now I'm hearing you right. Go ahead. What were you saying?
It's been a hard week, man. Kovalev got folded up. He want to go over there with Virgil. I don't think the Precise Presenter could take it.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's a lot to digest right there. So, guys, that's all the topics. We cleaned them out with 10 minutes to spare. So it means I can get off a little bit early and get back to what I was doing. And yeah, so that means shout outs. G.Alé 6 on Instagram, at Georgie Dampier on Twitter, George Ale Dampier on Facebook. You can catch me at Ring IQ and UK Boxing Group. That's where it goes down in the Banta. And also, please subscribe. We're trying to get a push to 100 subscriptions within the first year. July 25th will mark a year, a full year of my existence here on YouTube, as far as a video maker.
July?
So July 25th.
I started 1 month after y'all. I started, I think, August.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nicely done. Bo, Mark said Chicago ain't done nothing. Good sense. Y'all got smart enough to export Rose to New York.
But
So
He is not telling you a lie.
yeah, I was gonna say that was good work by you guys. Y'all cashed out on them early.
Won. The goddamn Cubs won.
Oh yeah, they got that too.
They broke
All
their
right,
code.
so shout outs, guys. Starting with you, Bo.
Oh man, y'all know truth and facts about boxing. The movement with my boy 2K Prodigy of Boxing, Twan Valebi Hoop Jab, Big Cool, my partner in crime, Bernard, aka the Realest Casual, pound for pound. This show, I'm always giving a shout out to Julius the relay, but I'm gonna stop. This motherfucker got more subscribed than both of us, so fuck him. But no,
like, I'm don't shout out Truth and Blacks about.
I ain't shouting out about no Truth and Blacks, the nation of domination.
Main
The
event,
nation of domination.
I know. Main event, man. Pep Talk UK, and just anywhere with Guard Your Grill Boxing, anywhere where they talking the sport of boxing, man. That's where you find me. And as always, man, look, man, we love this sport. 2017 been a great year. Let's keep it going. Respect all fighters, all weight divisions. Pay more attention to women fighting, man. That's what's up.
Julius.
I'm gonna just shout out a lot of the channels that I frequent that may not be aware that I actually frequent their channels. I like Mr. Boxing Today. He strictly does the heavyweights, but it's a good way to keep up with heavyweight boxing divisions. It's a lot of fucking news. Shout out to that channel. Shout out to Chatterboxing. Shout out to fucking 78 Sports. Shout out to fucking Nice Presenter retiring finally. It took a lot of trolling, but it worked. And just, shout out to punching people in the stomach. People forgot you could hit people in the stomach. You could do that and end the fight early. So shout out to that shit.
Shout out to everybody out there in the JOs, man. Strap season, baby.
Oh yeah. And I wanted to shout out I like Moy Baran 74, man. Check out that brother's channel, man. I really like his videos. They're like very insightful. I just honestly I want to shout out LDBC and YouTube boxing community for one reason. I don't gotta go to the news. Like I get the news from YouTube for real. Like I get the news, like that's where I find out what happened. Then I go read on the topics according to which ones I give a fuck about and which ones I don't. And and that's how I do it. Like certain guys, they done got so consistent to where as though I could just compare notes. I could listen to Hatman, listen to 78. If I hear the same shit, it's true. You see what I'm saying? Because Hatman is like all the way in UK. He's like a fair guy.
Yeah,
I just want to just like.
Yeah, I like him too. Yeah.
I just shout out all those channels, man. Like I appreciate them, man.
Now you know who deserves a shout out? Dwyer.
And Dwyer.
Dwyer's a good channel. Dwyer got a good channel.
Dwyer boxing beats and rhymes.
Counterpunch. Always like counterpunch.
Yeah. You know what though? That Chatterbox is a good one, Jules, because me and him talk. Matter of fact, we was going at it this morning. But I like guys who know what the fuck you talking about. I can debate with you because I feel like I'm learning something. I don't like motherfuckers that's just telling me shit. Like I don't have no problem with.
They tell you stuff about the situation you didn't know. You be like, damn, I didn't know that. They be like, man, he was lying.
Or no. This what I don't like. This what I don't like, and he gonna hear it, and it's fine. Steve, if you're gonna challenge me on what I'm saying about Adonis, give me something that you fucking think that I'm wrong about. Don't just tell me connect the dots.
Shout out to Steve.
Drop a link or something, dog. Don't just fucking tell me to connect the dots, homie.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm telling you something that I've read and I know, and I'm saying, hey, this is what this motherfucker said, and you say, oh man, connect the dots. Don't tell me to connect the fucking dots. Give me something, dog. To go with. Don't do that. Like
shout out to Steve.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, don't get it. And listen, I like the dude. Sometimes he say some knowledgeable shit, but sometimes Steve.
I feel like Steve just be pressing buttons sometimes.
Look, man, Steve burns the eggs, man. That's what he does. It's easy enough to make, and he still fucking burns the eggs. Okay, it is what it is. He gonna burn the egg. He gonna burn the rice.
I want to say one thing before you close this door, George. Like real rap. This week, I gave Manny Pacquiao the blues a little bit, right? I said, but I want to say something honestly. When it comes to talking about PEDs, performance enhancement drugs.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm not about to disrespect nobody right now, but I'm gonna be real. One thing I notice is that like it's like a perception in your mind. Like when you hear PEDs, like you looking for muscles. You see what I'm saying? Pro sports, period, especially in the United States, it's just performance enhancement drugs all over the place. Since I was a kid, I was always told like, don't drink nobody water bottle in a gym. You think about that, and you talking about a gym that's like, it's probably like 3 or 4 pros in it, and everybody else are amateur. And they real dead set on don't touch nobody water bottle. The performance enhancement game is just like, it's just something that's just reality. And because I talk about performance enhancement and me being skeptical of this fighter, that fighter, I will be quick to tell you that like I was one of the biggest Shane Mosley fans and one of the biggest Roy Jones fans ever. And half of y'all on the page don't know because of what happened with PEDs. And reality is that I'm not taking up for them because I can't take it. You can't take up for nobody who does it. But reality is that like fighters that you like, they do it and you don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of it that just goes on.
Look. I want to add something to that. It's
Well,
not
there
that
goes
motherfuckers don't know. It's not that ain't nobody naive. It's Peds. I'm on Peds right now. It's not that motherfuckers don't know. It's just that when it comes to Peds, it's such a contentious subject because of how it's treated. The analogy and the proverb seems to be that everybody's on it, but it's only the guys that get caught that get heat for it.
Yep.
That's how contentious a subject it is. That all of these guys is fucking around on it. That we don't know who's clean. We don't know who's not. Is it safe to assume that they're all on it or the majority of them are on it? We don't know. We don't know because there are guys that are getting tested, and that makes it more confusing. You got guys like Deontay Wilder. He's in a clean boxing program. He ain't never failed a ped test. So, but am I going to call him a cheater? Should I assume that he's on pads and he's just cycling off of them at the right time? I don't know. Is that fair to him as a fighter to call him dirty, even though I don't know if he's dirty? I don't know.
That's true.
That's a great point.
That's why I say innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
I could assume all day.
And even with the instance, if we're going off the assumption that just about most of them are cheating, then in a sense it's an even playing field then.
But George,
not to say I'm promoting it, but
that's true.
Essentially, that's what it is.
My issue is be fair. This is my issue. Be fair. If you're going to say Manny Pacquiao's taking something, right, then you can't say that and look at Ariza in Pacquiao's camp and look at him over in Floyd's camp and say nothing's going on.
Don't got nothing to say about
exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You can't say that. If you're going to say something happening there, then you got to say something happening because he got the same motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you got to say that.
Yeah, and here's my final grip with this because I was slightly going to come over this issue, but then I just decided not to just because it didn't need to. But I love that the take is just two different things from the same audience, which is Manny Pacquiao's, his triumphs were handicapped because they were catch weights, or he was on PEDs and no one has ever gone through weights like that before. So it's a discreditation either way, and we're just trying to find a way to smother that in between it. It's like, look,
you know what I said about that. You remember what I said about that? I said Pacquiao turned. See, people, everybody say, motherfuckers, like, stop for a second listening to other people and do your own research. Pacquiao lied about his age to turn pro. So if he was 14 or 15, and he's 105 pounds, you telling me from 15 to 30, this nigga didn't gain 40 fucking pounds? You telling me that's impossible? Really?
Shit. I gained 40 pounds since I was 12.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Stop, man. Stop.
It's ridiculous. And I'm honestly glad I didn't honor it. But Julius, I'll let you have last word and we're gonna close the show out.
I'm not a Pacquiao fan. I'm not an apologist for him. I believe in giving every fighter, even when you don't fucking like their ass, like how I hate Adrian Broner, you got to give him a fair shake. And I find it hard to accuse somebody of doing something dirty when I don't know that. I don't know that. This fight is being tested right now. WBA's got the fair boxing program. WBC's got the clean boxing program. The IBF been testing motherfuckers since 2001 and before, I believe since 2001, when they caught Roy. So all in all, we'll find out sooner or later.
Man, listen. When you talk about PEDs, right, understand that the banned substance list switch like every 6 months, bro. Understand that you got people like Mimo Heredia that his whole real value is the fact that, like, he could make, like, copycat drugs and shit, bro. They could have, for instance, melatonin, right? Take, like, one thing out of it, put two things in it, and then, like, that shit is legal, but melatonin not. But it'll take them a little while to catch up to the new shit that they made. So the whole time, the fighter you like may take a new shit, and the nigga you don't like took the old shit, and you just like, yo, but like, little do you know, like, Bull is taking the same shit right
All right.
now. And
Oh, I'm trying to
like make it illegal until like another 6 months.
I'm trying to get a hold of the new shit. So we're gonna have to close the show out.
You need money, but the new shit out there.
I'm trying to grab some of this new shit. So we're gonna call it a week. Until next time, next Wednesday, same time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:30 that other time over in UK. But until then, peace out.